I love Notes on a Scandal. I love it so much. I think everybody who loves Cate, and especially everybody who loves Judy, loves this movie so much. It's a movie that is so easy to rewatch. And like Teo, you said earlier, it's a movie to watch with people, and it's a movie to just have fun and enjoy. Despite, what we talked about the trope of the predatory lesbian, it's still a movie that is ultimately enjoyable.
What is your take on the predatory lesbian dynamic? I'm just curious because you did bring up earlier, and I think it's interesting that this is a movie that is maybe more appreciable for gay men. And I'm just curious about like your thought on that, where, for example, actually a Cate movie that this reminded me of, which we haven't talked about on the podcast, but there are some similarities with this and The Talented Mr. Ripley, which
Mm-hmm.
has sort of the predatory gay longing as opposed
Yes.
to a predatory lesbian longing.
Uh, I think when I said that, I just meant like as a gay man, and I'm just free to enjoy this movie and not think about that trope, which might be sort of a selfish way to look at it, but it's also the truth. And I think there is a tradition of gay men enjoying cultural things where women come at each other. Like, we can talk about it from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane to current gay men who love to watch The Real Housewives, for example. So it is something sort of like ingrained in gay male culture to make heroes out of these, for lack of a better word, vicious villains, because that is what Barbara ultimately is. But that is why I love her. That is why anybody would love her. Because if Barbara wasn't this vicious, if Barbara didn't have contempt for everybody, if Barbara didn't ruin Sheba's life, quote unquote, ruin her life, Sheba ruined her own life. But Barbara was the conduit to that. If she didn't do all these things, she would not be somebody to love and enjoy. And also, gay men are a little bit dramatic, and they like to, I'm speaking about, as a representative here. So if you're a gay man listening to this and you don't think you're dramatic, that's okay. I can say that. We're dramatic. We love big drama. We like tragic figures. We love this woman, Barbara Covett, who is very tragic. She is tragic because, she is all these things that we don't want to think of about the lesbian women in our lives that we love. We don't want to think of any of them as repressed or lonely or predatory. But we love Barbara for all those things because those are the things that make her bring the drama. If she wasn't, she wouldn't bring the drama. And girl, Barbara brings the drama. She brings the drama.
She certainly does. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, I think that it's interesting, particularly like in relief with The Talented Mr. Ripley, because like something that I was wondering myself at watching it is why, though both movies deal with sort of similar ideas, I feel bothered by what's happening with Notes on a Scandal in a way that I feel very actually like deeply seen with
With
Talented
Ripley.
Mr. Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think that it's a more like the horror there of that character is one of identification, whereas
Mm-hmm.
the horror of Barbara is one of repulsion.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think this is also just the nature of the movie. Like, this is sort of trashy and sensationalistic. So I think when you look at Ripley versus Barbara Covett, Ripley is somebody who you think maybe you identify with them because you're like, that's who I could become if I don't come out, if I don't
mhm.
let the world know that I am gay. I need to avoid this. But Barbara has sort of a finality. It's as if this has been ordained to her no matter what she has done. Like, the movie does not allow us to sort of think of Barbara as somebody who maybe could have come out or could have lived openly as a lesbian, because she never even admits to being a lesbian. And so I think that is why you can enjoy Ripley more if and identify with him, and you can just enjoy Barbara just as a relic or as somebody who you hope you are never going to be, but you're also a little bit
Bar-
offended by.
Barbara is a freak.
Yes.
Barbara is a freak in a way that like Ripley is like a person,
Yeah,
but Barbara
totally.
is like a freak monster. You're like, Barbara, this
Yeah.
is nuts. What you're doing is crazy.
Yeah, and this is what we've been talking about. It's heightened, it's trashy, it's just not real. what makes it fun, but it also what makes it a little bit uneasy in its depiction of Barbara.